Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Azharidi, Assistant Professor, Electrical Engineering Department, Sarhad University, Peshawar. Dear students, today in this first video lecture of week 13, we are going to learn about sampling and sampling distribution. First of all, I would like to tell you about sample and population. A population is the collection of all the elements of interest, and a sample is a subset of the population. Now, sampling. Sampling is a process of selecting samples from a group or population to become the foundation for estimating and predicting the outcome of the population, as well as to detect the unknown pieces of information. Similarly, another definition of sampling is a statistical procedure that is concerned with the selection of the individual observation. It helps us to make statistical inference about the population. Now, advantages of sampling. Sampling has various benefits to us. Some of advantages are listed below. Sampling saves time to a great extent by reducing the volume of data. You do not go through each of the individual items. So, dear students, sampling is actually the process of selecting a sample for population from a population. Sampling is a procedure for selecting a sample from the population. So that's why sampling save time to great extent by reducing the volume of the data, because the volume because the data will be the number of items in the sample data will be short as compared to the population. Now, sampling avoids monotony in works. You do not have to repeat the query again and again to all the individual data. And when you have limited time, survey without using sampling becomes impossible. It allows us to get near accurate results in much lesser time. When you use proper methods, you are likely to achieve higher level of accuracy by using sampling than without using sampling in some cases due to reduction in monotony, data handling issues, etc. And by using sampling, you can get detailed information on the data even by employing small amount of resources. Now, some advantages of sampling. Sampling also has some demerits. Some of the disadvantages are like number one, since choice of sampling method is a judgmental task, there exist chances of business as per the uh, mindest of the person who chooses it. Uh, since choice of sampling method is a judgmental task, there exists chances of biasness as per the mindset of the person who chooses it. Improper selection of sampling techniques may cause the whole process to defunct. Selection of proper size of samples is a difficult job. Sampling may exclude some data that might not be homogeneous to the data that are taken. This affects the level of accuracy in the results. Now, sampling design and sample survey. A sample design is a definite statistical plan concerned with all the principal steps taken in the selection of a sample and estimation procedure. These steps are formulated in advance of conducting the sample. The term survey has been defined as a means of um, uh, collecting information to meet a definite need. When a survey is carried out by a sampling method, it is called a sample survey. The main steps in a sample survey are to clearly state the objective of the survey. Number two, define the population we wish to study as clearly as possible. Number three, construct the sampling frame by clearly defining the sampling units. Number four, choose an appropriate sample design and proper sample size. Number five, organize a reliable field organize a reliable field work to achieve the objectives of the survey. And number six, summarize and analyze the data. Now, sampling frame. A sampling frame is a complete list or a map that contain all the n sampling units in a population. A complete list of the names of all the students in the Government College Lahore. Say March 15 is the frame. A list of all the household in a city. This is also a list of frame. A list of all household in a city. So a sampling frame is a complete list. So this is the complete list. A list of all household in a city. List of all the name of the students in the Government College Lahore. A map of a college showing all fields, etc. Or other example of frame. The requirement of a the requirements of a reasonable good frame or that frame should: number one, not contain inaccurate sampling units. Number two, be complete and exhaustive, that is, should contain all units and should cover the whole of the population. Number three, be free from errors of omissions and duplication of sampling units. Number four, be as up to date as possible at the time of use. Most of the frames used for sample survey do not meet all these requirements. Now, sampling terminologies. Sampling has its own set of terms it uses. Here, a brief description of these. Number one, the community families living in the town with smart homes from the population are steady population and are usually denoted by the letter N. Number two, the sample group of elderly people are senior citizens and disabled people in the vicinity of the smart home community is called sample. Number three, the number of elderly people are senior citizens and disabled people. You obtain informations to find their average age is called the sample size, and is uh, obtain information to find their average age is called the sample size, and is usually denoted by the letter small letter n. Number 4, the way you select senior citizens and disabled people is called the sampling design or strategy. Number 5, each citizen or disabled people that become the basis for selecting your sample are called the sampling unit or sampling element. Number 6, a list identifying each uh, respondent in the study population is called sampling frame. In case when all elements in a sampling population cannot be individually identified, you cannot have a sampling frame for the study population. Number 7, finally, the obtained findings based on the information of the respondents are called sample statistics. Now, probability sampling. This sampling techniques includes this sample technique includes sample selection, which is based on random methods. The techniques that are based in this category are random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic sampling, and cluster sampling. So, dear students, note that there are two major type of sampling. One is probability sampling and other is non-probability sampling. For the probability sampling, you see over here, there are some types of probability sampling. They are random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic sampling, and cluster sampling. So now I would like to tell you about the definition of all these subtypes of probability sampling. So now, number 1, random sampling. Random sampling is a sampling technique where every item in the population has an even chance and likelihood of being selected in the sample. Here, the selection of items completely depends on the chance or by probability, and therefore this sampling technique is also sometimes known as a method of chances. For example, suppose your college has 500 students. This is actually population, and you need to conduct a short survey on the quality of the food served in the cafeteria. You decide that a sample of 7 students should be sufficient for your purposes. So, when you collect 70 students from 500 students, no, this is actually the sample. A set of 70 students from the 500 students is actually, this set is a subset of all students. So the list of 70 students is now is a sample for the population. In the population of in this example, the population has total 500 students, but we select 70 students. Now this is very easy that we survey for only this 70 students. So the conclusion of this survey and the credit will goes to the population, because we select 70 students from the population. So suppose your college has 500 students, and you need to conduct a short survey on the quality of the food served in the cafeteria. You decide that a sample of 70 students should be sufficient for your purposes. Now, systematic sampling. This is another type of probability sampling. The systematic sampling technique is a opportunity. The systematic sampling technique is operationally more convenient than the sample random sampling. It also ensures at the same time that each unit has equal probability of inclusion in the sample. In this method of sampling, the first unit is selected with the help of random members with the help of random numbers, and the remaining units are selected automatically according to a predetermined pattern. This method is known as a systematic sampling. Suppose the n units in the population are numbered 1 to small n in some order. Suppose further that the capital N is expressible as a product of two integer like small n and small k, so that n is equal to nk. For example, the sample interval should be 10, which is the result of the division of 5000. And here, this capital S is actually the size of the population, and 500 is and this is actually the population. 500 is the population, and small n is the size of a sample. Systematic formula for interval k is equal to n by n. So 5000 divided by 500, so this is equal to 10. Now another type which is called stratified sampling. It is obtained by separating the population elements into overlapping groups called strata, and then selecting a random sample from within each stratum. Example of stratified sampling are rank order, full professor, associate professor, etc. After this is done, a random or systematic sample is drawn within each group. For example, you have three strata with 100, 200, and 300 population sizes respectively, and the researcher choose a sampling fraction of 1 or 2. Then the researcher must randomly sample 5, 50, 100, and 150 subjects from each stratum respectively. Like you see over here, stratum A, B, and C, and the population size in A 100, in B 200, and C 300. Now sampling fraction 1 over 2, 1 over 2, 1 over 2. So final sample size will be 50, 100, and 150. So this is the example of stratified sampling. Now cluster sampling. Cluster sampling is defined as a sampling method where multiple clusters of people are created from a population where they are indicative of homogeneous characteristics and have an equal chances of being a part of the sample. In this sampling method, a random sampling is created from the different cluster in the population. For example, in an organization, there are 25 departments, and each department there are an estimated 20 IT administrator. You need a sample of about 100 staff, but this would mean going to many departments if a random sampling approach is used. Using cluster sampling, you may select 5 departments randomly from a total of 25 departments. You study all the staff in the 5 departments you choose. The advantages that can be highlighted here is it saves cost and time, especially if the population is scattered. The disadvantages is that it is less accurate compared to other technique of sampling, as we have already discussed. Now, part B, non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling is a sampling technique where the samples are gathered in a process that does not give all the individuals in the population equal chances of being selected. Some common sampling methods are quota sampling, purposive sampling, and convenience sampling. So these are three types of non-probability sampling. Now, number one, quota sampling. This is one of the most common form of non-probability sampling. Sampling is done until a specific number of units, quotas, or various subpopulation have been selected. Since there are no rules as to how these quotas are to be filled, quota sampling is really a means for satisfying sample size objectives for certain subpopulations. For example, the Students' Council at uh, Cedar Valley Public School wants to uh, gauge student opinion on the quality of their extracurricular activities. They decide to survey hundred of thousand students using the grade levels 7 to 12 is the subpopulation. See the solution on the next slide, like you see over here. Uh, the table below gives the number of students in each grade level. This table 1, number of students enrolled at Gator Valley Public School by grade, like you see over here. Grade level 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Number of students in grade 7 level 150 to 20, for grade 8 level, for grade 9 160, for grade 10 150, for grade 11 200, for grade 12 120, and so on. Total number of students is 1000. Now, percentage of students, like you see over here: 15, 22, 16, 15, 20, 12. Now, quota of students in sample of 100: 15, 20, 16, 15, 20, 12, and 100. The Student Council wants to make sure that the percentage of students in each grade level is reflected in the sample. The formula is percentage of students in grade 10 is equal to number of students divided by number of students multiplied by 100%. So 150 divided by 1000 multiplied 100 is equal to 15%. Now, since 15% of the school population is in the grade 10, 15% of the sample should contain grade 10 students. Therefore, using the following formula to calculate the number of grade 10 students that should be included in the sample. Sample of grade 10 students: 15% multiplied 100, 15% of 100 multiplied 100 is equal to 0.15, 0.15 multiplied 100 is equal to 15 students. Now, purposive sampling. A purposive sampling is a non-probability sample that is selected based on characteristics of a population and the objective of the study. Purposive sampling is different from convenience sampling and is also known as judgmental, selective, or subjective sampling. Now, convenience sampling. Number A, A convenience sampling is a type of non-probability sampling method where the sample is taken from a group of people easy to conduct or to reach. For example, standing at a small or a grocery store and asking people to answer question would be an example of a convenience sample. B part. Convenience sampling, also known as availability sampling, is a specific type of non-probability sampling method that relies on data collection from population members who are conveniently available to participate in the study. Facebook polls or questions can be mentioned as a popular example of convenience sampling. So, dear students, in this video lecture, we have discussed only uh, the definition of some terms in the sampling. Like you see over here, we discuss that what is a sample, what is a population and a sample and sampling. And there are two major type of sampling: probability sampling and non-probability sampling. In the probability sampling, there are um, there are types of probability sampling: random sampling, stratified sampling, systematic sampling, and cluster sampling. And similarly, for the non-probability samplings are like you see over here. The non-probability sampling are quota sampling. These are the examples. Non-probability sampling is a sampling technique where the sample are gathered in a process that do not give all the individuals in the population equal chances of being selected. Some common sampling methods are quota sampling, purposive sampling, and convenience sampling. So these three types are the types of non-probability sampling. Quota sampling, purposive sampling, and convenience samplings are the types of non-probability sampling. Now, dear students, this is the end of this segment. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.